This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Mother of missing Clarendon child appeals for more help to find him. Kira Williams, the mother of 2-year-old Jamil Mendez, who was taken from his home in Rasta Corner, Clarendon 69 days ago, is again calling for public assistance in searching for him. Jamil was abducted from his home on May 12. Ms. Williams told the news that she spoke with the investigating officer last week. However, the police are yet to make a breakthrough. She said it also appears most people have forgotten about the missing boy, so the family would have to push it more by, among other things, placing additional posters in high visibility areas so people can be on the lookout.
And it's like this thing gets done with because if baby go past street, like in a Maple town, all about town, in town or anyway, people are good at see baby and to recognize because it's not about the baby, everybody done with the baby. No. Yesterday, me and my mother-in-law talking, so we're going to go out back, we and his family. Go to station, go out in the street, print some more posters, put it on taxi, put it on wholesale and all votes. Go to push it more so people recognize that yes, it's Mrs. Same way.
Missing Clarendon fishermen feared dead. 2 Clarendon fishermen who were seen heading to sea south of Rocky Point last Friday has gone missing and have been feared dead. The men, 42-year-old Robert Ware and 29-year-old Lucky Ellis, both of Portland Cottage addresses, reportedly set out about 10 a.m. Jonathan Ware, father of Robert, believes his son is dead. The senior Ware told the news that another fisherman had related that his son's boat had become faulty and that Robert and his colleague ran into difficulties while returning from Pedro Banks where they had gone fishing. Him say him stop, then him see Robert bail out water out of the boat with a bucket. Then him drive off, but when him turn and look back round, him no see Robert. After that, him see the next 2 boat run back and him ask them if them see Robert and them say, "How come you go ask with Robert and you and him a drive?" recounted Ware. "I hear say the boat them a come in and my son boat burst. If the boat burst, them did we stop and wait for him and travel with him," said Ware. "If the boat a sink, all him would have to do is jump out and go in a for them boat. But through them leave him now, the boat burst and sink and nobody no see him from that. Him dead left 2 little girls." Ware said several hours-long searches by other fisher folk since Friday has failed to locate the fishermen. "Them no find no boat, no jug, nothing," he bemoaned. Ellis's family is also shaken. His aunt Winsome Malabre said the family was still clinging to hope. "Even now, I am just looking to see him walking in the yard. The family is really shocked and we're just hoping and wishing that he would just come home. We're not taking it good at all," Malabre told the news on Monday. Barbara Graham of the Portland Cottage Citizens Association told the news that the men were active members of the community and their disappearance has shocked fellow residents. Recounting her last encounter with Robert Ware, Graham said, "The last time I saw him, we were together at a function and he was a representative from my community and he was there giving his input at a mangrove project meeting and how it affects them in terms of fishing, etc. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of the men is asked to contact the Lionel Town Police at 876-986-3233, Police Emergency at 119, or the nearest police station. The men's disappearance follows the April 2020 case of 4 men from the neighboring communities of Rocky Point and Racecourse who went missing. Their remains were among 5 sets found in shallow graves along the banks of the Sandy Gully in St. Andrew weeks later. 28-year-old man killed in Spanish Town. A 28-year-old man was shot dead on McVickers Lane in Spanish Town, St. Catherine on Monday afternoon. He has been identified as Paul Rufy Henry, unemployed, of 11 Gary Drive. Residents reported hearing explosions about 1 p.m. and called the police. Investigators found Henry face down along a roadway in a pool of blood. A number of 9mm spent casings were found. A motive has not been established for the killing. Meanwhile, the police have yet to identify the decomposing body of a male found floating in the Rio Cobre in St. Catherine. The body was seen by passerby on August 7 in an area known as Aki Village. An autopsy is to be performed. Third, a cop charged with murder of St. Andrew Tyler. The third police officer accused of killing a 29-year-old Tyler in Red Hills, St. Andrew last month has been charged with murder and other offenses. Constable Kemar Dennis, who returned from the U.S. last Monday and surrendered to the Independent Commission of Investigations, was charged on Friday after he was pointed out in an ID parade. Constable Dennis is to appear in the Gun Court Division of the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court on Thursday. His co-accused, Constable Purcell Carter and Corporal Miguel Ebanks, were denied bail last week and are to return to court on September 6. Constable Carter and Corporal Ebanks, who are assigned to the St. Andrew North Police Division, were arrested shortly after the death of Philip Wallace, a resident of Green Glide Close in Red Hills. Mr. Wallace was shot on July 16 while sitting outside a bar in his community. It's alleged that he was killed after refusing to pay the policemen in order not to bring charges against him. Nearly half of Jamaicans believe government wasted money on Johnson Smith's Commonwealth campaign. Nearly half of Jamaicans believe the government wasted money on Commander Johnson Smith's failed campaign for the position of the Commonwealth Secretary General. A statement from the office revealed that the campaign for the Commonwealth Secretary General post cost the government $18.2 million. The release said the sum accounts for lobbying expenses related to air and ground transportation, COVID-19 tests, meals and accommodation, and communications support activities for staging of events such as the launch and engagements with delegations. It also included IT support, printing of documents, photography, food and beverages. The latest RJR Gleaner Don Anderson poll revealed that 42% of Jamaicans believe it was not money well spent.
Perhaps because they were not as well informed. There was all kinds of speculation as to what the quantum was. And I believe that were we now armed with more information, which I believe came out today about what was actually spent, we'd be very interested in reading to have asked that question now. But when we interviewed persons between July 16th and 26th, we asked them, how do you feel about the money that was spent by the government, by Commander Johnson Smith in the campaign? 42% said it was not money well spent. Just 11% said it was money well spent. And 47% were just unsure about how to read it. There were upper income persons, 23%, they were above the norm. In other words, the norm is 11%. 23% of the persons in the upper income category supported this, felt it was money well spent. Older persons, 55 years and over, felt it was money well spent, and this was 17% of those who we interviewed. And 13% of the males, just a little bit above the average of 11%, said it was money well spent.
Suspected gun runner got 2 firearm permits, says sources. The man arrested on suspicion of being a major gun supplier to the underworld was issued 2 firearm permits despite a drug-related conviction in the United States, top law enforcement sources have disclosed. His name is being withheld by the news, and no criminal charges were laid against him up to late Monday. However, law enforcement insiders, including high-ranking police officials, have described him as a very dangerous figure who also leads an extensive drug trafficking syndicate and the muscle behind the St. Elizabeth-based 90s gang. For decades, he was able to elude local authorities because of the significant power he wields, one senior law enforcement insider claimed. This man is very powerful, one of the biggest firearm traffickers in the country. He has a lot of people in his pockets, from law enforcement to military people to politicians, you name it, the insider charged. The police suspect that the detainee is a mastermind behind a shipment of 21 guns, 3 rifles and 18 handguns, and a larger quantity of assorted ammunition that were intercepted at a warehouse in Kingston in March. The suspected crime boss was issued a permit in 2013 for a 9mm pistol by the Errol Gregory chaired board of the Firearm Licensing Authority. A source told the news on the condition that their name not be published because they are not authorized to speak on behalf of the agency. 2 years later, he was also issued with a permit for a shotgun, the source revealed, noting that both applications were accompanied by letters of recommendation from a pastor and a justice of the peace. Police records show that he was deported to Jamaica on March 29, 2009, after serving a 2-year prison sentence in the U.S. for a drug-related conviction. The suspected arms dealer is believed to be among the more than 200 people with criminal convictions or adverse traces who FLA Executive Director Shane Darling said were granted gun license between 2014 and 2017. During the period where persons were getting gun license under questionable circumstances, everybody made money from it, Darling told a journalist during a press conference held on February 15 this year. Darling declined to comment on the latest case. It is unclear whether the FLA was aware of the conviction at the time the permits were granted, and there is no indication that he ever purchased the shotgun, according to multiple sources. Senior cops also confirmed that the suspect had been on the police radar for more than a decade because of his alleged involvement in various local and transnational crimes. Significant efforts have been made locally and internationally to apprehend him. Finally, we have caught up with him, a source said. One senior law enforcement official was incensed to learn that the suspected crime boss and arms dealer had been issued a gun license. Why a man like that have a firearm permit who was deported and a suspected gang leader who is allegedly involved in so many crimes? The official questioned. The suspect was apprehended at a party in Ocheria, St. Anne on Sunday by cops assigned to the Counter-Terrorism and Organized Crime Investigations Branch, the police confirmed in a statement. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.